Explain the story.
Just, I guess we'll do a brief overview just for those who are rusty on the game and those, a couple that are new. Eve is an RPG maker, pixel horror game about a young 9-year-old that goes to an art gallery, and she finds herself in some very twisted version of the gallery where there's paintings and coming after her and different sculptures, and it's a puzzle game. It's all very interesting as she tries to get through. Then she eventually meets Garry.
Hello. And I'm basically lying on the floor because I was stupid enough to let a painting eat my rose.
The roses act as your health bar, more or less. So if the rose loses all of its petals, you're effectively dead.
I didn't know that at first.
Oh no! She had one, but then she got screwed up.
What is this number here? Why is there?
Why does it keep going down?
Why is it at 1? Why is it at
Oh.
The good news is Garry had it easy.
You'd be surprised how quickly 10 petals can go, my friend.
He had unlimited water vase every time you were somewhere, so it's like he had it easy.
Somewhat easy until I get screwed over by all the
Fun fact about the roses. Kouri, who made the game, originally was planning to make the art in the inventory panel, the pause.
Yeah, the pause
page.
menu.
He was gonna have the or she. I don't know. Yeah, she. Anyway, they were gonna have the art change so that Eve would get weaker and weaker looking, and that didn't happen because it was way too much trouble.
Yeah. So,
Fun fact!
Yeah, fun facts for the win. So, I guess we'll start talking about our experiences with Eve. I found Eve through Chaotic Monkey.
We weren't done.
We were still in the middle. I thought you were done.
No, I was passing it over to Mary.
Oh, but I died.
And then Mary didn't happen.
I was just like, objective.
Gary's in a rush to go sleep.
Oh, minute.
You don't even exist.
Okay.
Yet. What the heck?
When Eve finds me, I'm sorry.
Cry. Yes.
Yes, that's right.
Cry did introduce it to many of us.
Yes. So when Eve finds me, I'm on the floor because I don't have my rose. She finds the rose for me. She's like, "Here you go," and I'm like, "Yay! I'm alive! I can do this!" And so we're basically trying to find our way through the museum together, and then we find Mary.
And I'm basically a lost little girl looking for a friend, so I cling to Eve for dear life, and I hate Garry with all my guts. And then they slowly go through the storyline, and they find out that I'm actually a painting.
I
not a
find
real
it out,
person.
and then she has a grudge against me ever since.
And I drop my rose, and I tell them, "Don't touch that."
She comes at me with a scalpel, and I'm like, ugh. She's sharp. You can kill people with that. You don't do that. Why?
People die when they are killed.
Oh my god. So,
Yes, they do.
After the whole shebang with Mary, then you can basically choose your ending from that, depending on the choices you make. Either I die, she dies from burning a painting, Eve either stays in the fabricated world with a fake me or a fake mother, or she and I escape,
Or Mary escape.
Yeah, and Mary escape, depending on the choices you make.
And then there's the 1.04 updates that gives us 2 new endings, where everyone stays in. Oh no!
Yeah.
Close your ears if you don't want to know the spoilers.
Oh, man,
I just got
Get out!
And there were
Get out!
spoilers in the description, so.
Spoiler alert.
I didn't read the description.
I just want to know. I'm really playing through it again.
Sorry, we didn't know there would be spoilers.
So lazy. I'll just know.
There was some people still
Well, some people
are
don't
Yeah.
the updates.
Some
Like,
people
the
did.
big game last summer. I mean,
Well,
Well, the updates
I actually-
are new.
I actually streamed those
I
to
know,
game last summer too.
so many people had time, but
Yeah.
So what happens in the end?
Mary keeps her
Not to
dead
be a party.
Yeah, no, one of the endings is very,
Very
very.
had to rip open the doll.
Yeah.
I can't talk.
One ending where if you
One of the new endings, all 3 of them get stuck because Mary. It's down in the doll room when
I go cuckoo.
if you fail it and Garry goes cuckoo. Yes.
The doll room was so
Eve,
scary.
instead of slapping him, gives up as well, and Mary can either choose to stay with them or try to escape herself. And if you try to escape yourself, because that you actually get to play as Mary that time. If you try and escape yourself, it's no.
No,
It's
she gets
very
so
depressing.
You're like, you want to leave? No, I don't think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spoilers over. We're good. We're good.
Okay. We're sorry about that. It's cool. So, now, is it safe?
Yeah, now we're safe.
now we're
That's
safe.
the whole storyline. We're rushing up for
We made it.
everybody.
It's actually
Mary has made it safely back.
Yes.
And
We managed to get her over here somehow. But our experiences with Eve, I found it through Chaotic Monkey, also known as Cry. And I had no idea what I was in it for. I'm like, oh, this looks cool. Look at this cute little girl going to art museum. I love art. This is cool. Oh, it's that kind of game. Cool. And I actually really enjoyed it, so that was a lot of fun.
I found through PewDiePie, who, yeah. Would you like to talk about the dumbest playthrough ever? Oh my god.
Yeah, that's why I did.
PewDiePie
I
is
know,
pretty.
it takes him forever to get through the game.
He's painful to
I know,
watch.
right?
He
I
is
just hate him.
painful.
I just hate him with a passion.
I don't hate him.
used to be fun.
Good 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I never liked
Well,
him.
excuse you.
Everyone to their own. We're okay.
But yeah, but either way, I fell in love with the game. I downloaded it myself, and during Hurricane Sandy, I didn't have power for a week and a half, and my laptop still had charge. So what did I do? Continuously play Eve.
Yeah, in the dark, stormy.
It actually did add some atmosphere.
Yep.
Oh wow.
In my experience, I was told over and over again by Murder Nurse to play it, so I decided, oh, well, why not? It took me about like maybe like 10, 15 minutes to actually set up rpgmaker, game maker, and oh, it would not work on my computer. I had to download all kinds of stuff. It finally opened and worked, and I was like, yes, let's play this. And when I played it, I was like, oh, this is actually amazing. So like right after I was like done, like every time I did something, I was like, Facebook, oh my god, this game's awesome. Oh my god, this game's awesome. Guys, you have to play this game.
Literally.
It really is great.
It's just so addicting. And the horror aspect, I didn't expect most of like
You know,
any of it. I was like, what? I'm a little girl. This isn't supposed to be happening to me.
Yeah, when that painting turned into the Grudge, I was like, oh.
Oh god. I almost cried.
This ain't gonna work with me.
you don't expect much out of a pixel game, especially when it's horror genre, because it's pixels. It's not all that.
I digress. Well, if you ever play
I'm saying
Corpse Party.
you don't
Corpse
expect.
Oh, Corpse Party! The sound kills me.
No, I'm saying you don't expect, but then you actually play it, and
Oh, yeah,
the
that's true.
story gets so immersive
That's true.
that ultimately that is a praise. That's what I'm saying.
So creepy. Oh my god.
I think it's also the fact that it's an indie game too, so that's another thing we also appreciate. Like, not many games nowadays have that kind of immersion. Despite how much money you throw at it.
Well, it's nice.
I'm sorry.
Just anything RPG Maker is just it's interesting, just because it's literally one person behind it. It isn't like a corporation or something that's like out to make money. It's just like this person made it for the love of what they're making.
Yes.
And I don't there's much more heart in it, I find.
You could call it art.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well.
Technically, is art.
Yeah, technically. I mean,
The creator is the artist.
School for college.
Gary's very forgetful today.
It's okay, Gary. We're here.
I honestly forgot what I was going to say.
Anybody have any questions?
Oh, or
Would
yeah,
you like to
let's-
share your Eve experiences with us?
I
or
could.
anything? Yes.
You talk too much.
Well, yes.
Me!
Amanda.
Why is her name Eve?
It's supposed to be Eve, but because of the Romanization, it was translated as Eve.
It's actually supposed to be Eve, straight up Eve.
Well,
No, it was, Kouri just said straight up, like, it's a rich person name. And this is a
Oh.
rich family. And we're just going to name them Eve.
And
because
that's why
Eve's
she got a
really weird
handkerchief for her
name.
birthday, because that's what rich people get
well, I
for
guess
their
the
birthdays.
game is
I guess IV.
Let's get it.
well, I guess the game supposedly does take place sometime in the 6000s.
Damn.
So,
6,000?
And they're still wearing clothing the same way.
If you look at the dates where the paintings were created, they're all in the 6,000. So we're either in the 6 or 7,000.
So this game survives.
If we're going directly by that, but then that could just be like some Kouri being like, "This is timeless." I don't know.
Don't know what to expect from it.
Art gallery, time shenanigans.
Oh yeah.
I want to know what the heck is wrong with Guertena.
Like Cortana?
Sure.
There's an awkward AU thing or conspiracy theory they have that Garry is a former Cortana. And I'm just like, I don't know how to feel about that.
It's interesting, but I
It's
don't
interesting,
see
but it
it
doesn't
holding
make
water.
Cortana?
Yeah.
Cortana is the one who did all that.
That
That
Garry is
I am
He's-
actually a former Cortana.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like
Oh,
a
the journal?
reincarnation or whatever. I don't know.
Not the journal.
The way they explained it, it makes sense, but it doesn't really.
It doesn't hold water in
I know
the
it's
canon.
because also like the theory, you find the painting of Garry. Spoilers, you find the painting of Garry. So
Yes, that was so sad. I was crying when I saw that.
I was gonna say that's
Well, as an ending,
only
yeah.
Garry
That
saw,
ending
and
is
it replaces the hanged man.
It's also kind of stuck
So-
in the old world.
Which is actually a real painting.
I err it more on the side of symbolism than actually like Guertena painted this painting.
Yeah. Same thing with Eve.
Well, actually, there was a really sad fan art I saw once that Garry got out with Mary, and instead of there being the picture of Garry, it was of Eve, and her parents were looking at it going, "Oh, I'd love to have a little girl like that." It was really sad. It was really sad.
Feels warning.
Don't look it up, you'll cry.
I feel like
I feel like, I don't know, I feel like that could have been. If we go with it more on the safe end.
Because everyone's like, hey, let's have a version where all three of them are together.
That'd be nice.
Have dead people. Here you go.
Thanks, Kouri.
Basically. Does anyone else have any more experience?
Experiences, questions, concerns, ideas, anything, guys.
Anything.
Yes, please.
So my friend knows that I'm chicken about absolutely everything, and went, "Hey, it's a great idea. Me subjecting you to this." I love her so much. So she dragged me kicking and screaming into this game, and I did indeed kick and scream, and she recorded my responses. My favorite part was when Gary's unconscious and you go to the room with the blue lady eating the flowers. I literally walked in and I triggered her looking at me, but I did not trigger her chasing me. And I walked right back out and walked all the way.
Just nope, that in there. Bye, Garry.
Wait, I need you.
No, don't care.
While chasing.
Literally just bye, Garry. No one cares.
One of my favorite moments actually was watching a Let's Player named Isaac Swirl. I had gotten him into it, and he's like, watch the edges, what are you talking about? Oh! 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 Arm.
Yeah. And then
actually-
just when you forgot.
Yeah, he was like, oh, I got a great, oh god, they're still there. And it actually didn't take him that long to figure out the puzzles. He's like, oh, here's a painting, I can do that. Oh, that ant's dead.
love him.
He was like one of the only people I noticed that knew that the ant. He's like, oh, bye.
I love the details like that. Just like you step over the ant painting and the ant's crushed now. That's really.
It's like, oh, that's a painting of me. Oh, it was you.
No.
Oh, well. Sorry about that, but there's not much you can do when you have a headless mannequin chasing you to death.
Chasing you to death.
Literally. It's like, oh, key. Hey. How's it going? Want a little company? Nope. Bye. There you go. So much of that.
I have something to add.
Oh.
I think the most annoying
I
part
remember the
is
beginning. That's all I
after
remember.
Mary
When you
runs
cross
away.
the bridge.
Spoiler alert.
Okay, so
After Mary runs away and you go in like the crown, like chalk drawing.
Oh, the sketchbook.
Yeah. Like the part where you had to like do the symbols, like go to this symbol, do this, and then press all the buttons. I was like, I was walking around that for like an hour, like, what the heck am I supposed to do? There's nothing to do here.
no.
Oh, look at this flower, let me water it. And then like I'm like, okay, what the fuck do I do now? Like that was all that was to do here. Oh look, I found a key. Okay, now what? And then I finally realized, like in the corner, I was like, oh wait, I haven't gone in here yet.
Oh,
It all makes sense now.
No, the sketchbook puzzle, I have memorized every single puzzle in that game. except I refused. I still use a guide for the sketchbook puzzle because I can't. I just can't do it. I get so angry.
And it really is hard to see a lot there. Even Crowd was like, this is Garry. This is still Garry. Still can't find him. Oh, hey, Garry.
That was the best.
Thanks for finding
The
me.
worst, actually, the worst was the I had one of the original versions that came out right as it came out. So some of the text was garbled. So going through the
symbols
sketchbook
and
area,
everything?
I didn't know what the symbols were, and there weren't any descriptions. So I was stuck for about 3 days, and then I actually bugged the translator.
Oh, she's so nice.
She's the kindest person.
I love GrislyMage. She's adorable.
I hated the stupid steam room, but when you're upstairs and Gary's downstairs and you're upstairs, and it was just annoying to deal with.
I think that's one of the most creative puzzles, honestly. I love the whole, you have to have the hole in the floor and then the umbrella. I love that.
Oh yeah, the hook.
I think that's
That
great.
was so cool.
And then-
what?
Those mannequin heads
And then that one doll room freaked me out
No,
afterwards.
we're not
Yeah.
talking about the dog.
Nope.
That's
We
a
don't
traumatic
know.
experience
We don't
for
know
me.
what's going on.
I was already scared about the whole guillotine thing.
Wait,
I was like,
what doll
I'm
room?
like going through the whole
No,
hallway.
doll room with
Wait, the doll room? You mean the bunny room?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
There
then
were
I
no
was
bunnies?
in the
Yeah.
front. got
Well,
so
No, I don't
confused.
know if you were talking about with the creepy dolls. All I see are bunnies, so.
Yeah, that's what it was kind of.
Sorry.
Yeah. When you play as me, it's like, I don't like this room, and I'm like, no, I really don't.
so bad though.
Heck, if I got scared by the guillotine hallway, I'm like, hey, why is this guillotine going up higher? I'm like, oh wait, and also I'm just about to walk forward. I'm like, oh, oh.
Yes.
Oh.
Why watch rock movies? Because like new stuff. But like once I got into the doll, I'm like, I do that. It's an insect doll. What?
Yes.
I'm like, the
Yeah.
doll was confused
Yes.
me.
Hello, Garry. Would you like to take me home? Nope. I would not.
Please be my friend. Please.
No.
Where are you going? For a while, and then he wasn't.
It's cute at first, and it's like,
And it's like, please get away from me now.
And then we have like Gary's fear of everything. Otherwise, we take him home.
Overly attached marriage.
Eve is the stalwart, typically male character. She's the leader of the party, and
She's the
Garry
best.
shows up, and Eve has to show up and save the day a lot of the time. Garry pushes things, but otherwise Eve is the stalwart one.
I remember actually hearing somewhere that Gary's name was a play on Mary, so they was like Gary Sue, Mary Sue. That was like the whole.
Oh.
Legitimately?
Gary's doing it.
Yeah, that's kind of. I don't remember where I heard this from, but that's kind of where.
I think it was on the Wikia page.
All I know is that Mary's name makes sense because it means a bitter sea of jealousy.
And she wears green.
Yeah.
And I have impossible.
Also, the yellow rose symbolizes friendship and jealousy in the Victorian language of flowers. So.
Oh.
Cool tidbits.
The more you know.
I wanted to shank
He actually like meant to put that.
You're
The more you know.
Knowing's half the battle. Knowing's half the battle.
It's
G.I.
sad 'cause I'm an
Joe.
artist, so.
The
Getting my
rainbow
words
comet
mixed
with
up.
the.
We were supposed to have this for Sunday morning. They're like, have this Friday night. Oh,
more like have
Okay.
Friday night. No, have
Yeah.
Friday night.
it was. Oh my gosh, it was insane.
No, we're not going to discuss.
We're not going to discuss that right now. But
Are you raising your hand inside?
Yes.
Oh, what do you want?
Well, Eve was actually one of my very first pixel horrors. It was, I never really watched PewDiePie religiously. Like, in the middle of the night and I have nothing to do, like, why not watch PewDiePie? So I would go through his videos and bored. I found Eve and I was like, hey, this looks kind of cute. And then I watched it. He was frustrating, but...
Oh, beyond
he's always
frustrating.
He never knows what he's doing. He's just like, dude, I remember that from like 2 seconds ago. That just happened.
His Alice his Alice playthrough isn't too bad though.
No, it's not.
He's
Not at
actually
all.
doing well. I'm very proud of him.
What, Madness
Yeah.
Returns?
Yeah,
Oh.
he's actually playing it well. I'm very happy with humans right now. I can't say for any other game, but
Pixel horror.
Especially the pixel
I
horror.
was so annoyed about the issue with him.
oh, don't. No,
I couldn't even.
no.
all right.
Amnesia. The only reason I stuck around for Amnesia was Toronto.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
I didn't watch PewDiePie, but I watched Day 9's playthrough of Amnesia. Hilarious. Daniel, get out of the water! Daniel, get out of the water.
Actually,
Day 9 is awesome.
That's the only other like.
I can recognize his voice on her.
Witch's House was actually really good.
I hate the movies that come from here, though.
Ladies and
If you
gentlemen.
ignore his
How about
fans
them?
and
No, it's not the fans, though.
I guess I'll only the pinnacles.
No, it's, I mean, I don't want to say it.
Let's not. We're getting off topic here.
Yeah, he was my first pixel horror, too. Then that opened the door to Witch's House, now only,
Mad Father.
Missao, Mad Father. Oh, I love Mad Father. Sorry.
Here with Mad Father.
My first one was Yume Nikki.
It's funny because everyone.
Yeah.
Uboa.
You made
Like,
it.
I
I
was
only
ridiculous.
just recently
Uboa.
played, but that was just because
Uboa.
I downloaded it,
Come on,
and I was literally like, what do you want me to do with this?
That's exactly what I did. I was like,
I was like, this is interesting as a statement of art, but as a playable game, I was like,
Where'd I go from here?
okay, sure, thank you.
What? Yume Nikki?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much like that one. It's
It's
has
a
the
game
same.
based on exploration. So
It's
you
the
have to
same
have
concept
the
as
drive.
LSD. They basically on the PS1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to have the want and the drive to actually find things in that game. If you don't, you're like, oh, okay. Because there's no story. It's just yeah, literally. There's fan theories about story, but anyway, we're off topic. Yeah. That's Eve. Anybody have anything to say about Eve? Or
I never got to read it. I need to. I get too scared. I can't be scared.
Oh, finest
I
Kale.
test please.
Finest
I
Kale.
can hardly hear you.
I think he means that there's text that Eve sees but doesn't understand.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's because she's a young girl and she can't understand certain words. And so when you actually meet Garry, he's like, "Oh, this is what this is, by the way."
With their blank,
It's
I
probably
put their
because of, like,
blank
the
dot dot.
kanji.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
It takes a lot more for them to learn in Japan. It's like, "Oh, what is this?"
There's also that book that Garry tells her you probably shouldn't read this.
No, that's my favorite thing. That's the only thing after you meet Garry. That's the only thing that you still can't read. And
You should read these when you're a little older, or maybe never.
It's like a
you know?
magazine or is it like an actual book?
No,
It's 50 Shades of Grey.
That's what he said.
50 Shades of Guertena.
Oh my god! No.
Let's tell you what red symbolizes, kids.
Oh,
jeez.
Okay.
Like in horror games, it's usually very hard to make a horror game in the point of view of a little girl.
Yeah.
Because there's I worked at like kids music, so like a lot of their views are very different. And I don't know, it kind of makes me like with any of you heard of Rural World?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Even
Isn't
though
that
the
Kiss
main
Signals?
Good
character is
game.
19, all this is the point of view of a child, and it's very hard to pull that off. So like Eve, like even though she doesn't understand a lot of stuff, that makes it more scary because its environment's in her point of view. Even though Garry knows a lot, she doesn't. And I don't know, it's very hard.
Things from the point of
And
view of a
it's
child
really
are a lot
good.
scarier.
It's really good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's that one point in the game that she actually cries
And
too.
you don't know as much.
Like,
Right.
she doesn't question a lot of stuff. She
Well,
just-
no, actually, I was just gonna say that. Actually, I think that Eve's youth is what makes her braver in a way because Garry understands these things are dangerous; they can hurt me. Whereas Eve, this is just kind of a new world for her. She's curious. She wants to explore. She wants to get back to her parents. To what the hell is happening?
Yeah,
But so it can go both ways in that her imagination can make things worse than they seem, which is what happens when she passes out and has her nightmare. Then it can also make her braver in other situations because she's not quite sure what she's up against. So, my theory.
Like Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. What? You had your hand raised?
Is no one going to talk about how scary they made an update?
What?
Is no one going to talk about how scary they made an update?
I didn't even know they had an update.
The update, I don't think it made it scarier per se, but there are a few more unnerving things, I'll say.
Yeah, I think it's better.
Does it include sound?
What?
Does it include sound that people
The
have on?
It doesn't.
Sounds are terrible.
No.
I can't remember. remember.
I can't remember either.
Hmm.
I just watched it like a few days ago to catch up. I'm like,
Yes.
How old is Garry actually?
We don't know.
We have no idea.
No clue.
Well,
I
that's a
thought that
personally, I'd say somewhere between like 8 and 9.
good in his
Yeah,
20s.
I think he's late teens, young 20s.
Yeah.
Probably college-ish age, I would assume.
Yeah, he's into fashion, and I think he like does some work in that.
I
So
wouldn't be
he's like
surprised.
old enough to.
And what's his favorite food?
Macaroons. I love macaroons.
Macaroons are coconut.
My friend and I had that fight.
Aren't they those colored?
Do you think that the portrait of Eve's parents was an illusion brought on by the gallery, or do you think Guertena actually painted Eve's parents?
I can't imagine. I think it's more like the Garry painting thing. Personally, I don't think it was a literal thing.
Because the world did kind of adapt to them in a way.
Yeah, especially as you progressed.
That makes sense, because art's all about like how someone's personal interpretation and like when the viewer looks at a piece, it's how they're affected.
The beauty is
It's
in the
direct
eye of the
communication
beholder.
from the artist and the viewer.
Yeah, that's why he sees bunnies, and I'm like, that's not a bunny. So
Honey, no.
Honey, no.
Never again that room. Never again.
I ain't no mind reader.
So it's so hard to put all this into an hour when we didn't want to do it all.
It's okay. We're having fun, just having conversation.
Red Room, library, what was that?
Yeah.
Gillette Leroy?
I understand.
Oh,
That's right. That's Gillette Leroy?
Oh, the Galette de Roi.
Yeah.
Yeah, how about that, guys? How about Careless Carrie or Careless
Carrie.
Carrie Careless? I never know which is which. How about that, guys? No, my question is, does anybody think that was drawn by Mary? Because comparing the art style there to what's in the sketchbook, it looks dangerously similar. Personally speaking.
Especially since when you play as Mary, you see her artwork, like her rose is drawn by her and her entire menu is drawn in her
Yeah.
artwork. So it's like,
That's like, that's hello.
yes.
That's another one of those details that I can't get enough of this game. There's always something new to.
The one before Eve loses her rose, though. That was the thing.
Oh, in the toy box.
Yeah, that was. I don't know. For some reason, I had
That
like
was
some weird panicking moment. For some reason.
Well, once
Oh my
everything
God.
started
I was
moving
gonna
at you, it was like, oh, I gotta get the hell out of here.
Oh yeah, that last part when trying to find everything else.
Yeah, no, that was a moment. I think I died many times there because I was just panicking.
That didn't happen to me.
Really?
No, I guess I did it so quickly. Like I found Garry right away, got everything done so fast.
I wasn't
that
wandering
I just went
around.
straight. Well, I had to wander because I was like, what am I supposed to do right now?
Well, in the upper part
I
of the
pulled
sketchbook,
a
yeah.
freaking cry. I was like, where's Garry? Like, where am I? And then I was like, oh, here he is. What the heck do I do now? And he's like, oh, well, we need to go get your rose.
It's like, oh, okay. I think, well, depending on what ending you're getting.
Yeah, those feels where it's like, here, take this.
Like, no.
I don't mind dying. You have more to live for.
Also, about Eve's innocence, how sad is it Garry is sleeping? Can we just feels about that for a second?
Oh my God. Garry wants to sleep right now.
Not that
The
big.
game says Garry is sleeping when he's, but always he's like dead.
I got the amnesia ending. The one where Garry and Eve come out, but they don't remember
Oh,
each other.
Forgotten Portrait.
Yeah.
No, not Forgotten Portrait. Wait.
Not from portrait.
No.
Where he's standing in front of the rose and she walks
No,
up
I know
and
what
says,
you.
"Hey."
Oh crap!
It's like, hey, do I know you or something like that?
Yeah, I was like
Crannies.
memories, crannies. Thank you.
Okay.
You are a god among men. Thank you.
Tears. That is all. Tears.
So
It's okay, it's late.
It's been me this whole panel.
Yes.
That like it was one of my very favorite parts. It jump scared me a lot more than it really should have.
Yeah.
But throughout the whole gameplay, I really wasn't expecting any of it. You just watch the beginning, you're like, oh, you're like going to this painting, okay.
Yeah, it's like, all right.
Adventure.
Can I go back?
That
Yeah, it's when you come down into Abyss of the Deep and you walk away and then you come back and the stairs are gone. You're just like, oh, what did I just get myself into? Oh no!
I did that. I was like,
Yeah.
But like they're gone.
I never even would have made it in there because that music is just terrifying. Like the atmosphere with music in me just not work.
The atmosphere was
As soon as things starts going off in my ears, I'm like,
No.
have you ever
no.
played Corpse Party with earphones on?
Oh, that is horrifying.
Talk
Ever
about
do
that.
that, especially in the middle of the night. The thing, it sounds like it's right behind you, and you're just freaking out.
Oh, that's horrifying.
Mayumi's death was just
There it is.
my ears. Mayumi's death was the worst.
Spoiler turned on behind.
Oh no!
I teleported across.
I was gonna say, how fast did you run?
I did. I just appeared at the other end of the room.
Wait, what happened?
The boiler turned on.
Yeah, he was playing the game, or he basically the boiler turned on behind him. He
Running through amateur. He just like appeared.
I think that should be like a first manual for like any horror situation. Like you're wandering and then you sound like hear music or like the lights go out, go the other way.
literally just turn around.
Unless you're an
better
Eve, then
off.
everything's cut off.
Just like Day 9.
No, the only Silent Hill I can't forgive is Origins. Travis, go home. Leave the little girl to be treated. Go
Who
home.
has the music?
Leave the truck. It's running.
Ears of a dog, I hear you.
Go. Where's it coming from?
See, I have a mannequin head in my room.
Oh.
So it's the middle of the night, and I turn around and I'm like, oh! Oh God! Oh, it's okay. It's just my mannequin head. I did draw the eyes on it. I was smart enough not to do that.
Try mannequin head in an unfinished basement that's just all concrete and dark completely all around.
I can't even go in my basement just to wash my clothes. I'm like, I don't like this.
Maybe tomorrow.
You know,
Maybe tomorrow. Yes.
Okay, so in the basement, I have carpet in there now, but it used to be a red concrete floor.
That's horrifying.
And when we
In
painted
and of
it,
itself.
my dog walked around it, so it looked like blood.
Oh.
And every time I go down there, I'm like,
Just like no. Every house, so just why?
It's fine. It's just a red paintball. You just collect that and put that back in.
oh yeah, that's true. That's
Horror
true.
story. That's enough. That's all. You're fine.
I actually had a cousin who we were watching a horror movie, and as you know, in a lot of horror movies, you go down into basements. So we were like, we were like, so why does every horror movie have something to do with the basement? And he suddenly just looks at it and goes, it's because it's closer to hell. We're just like, oh!
Well, not missing a beat on that one. I just really like the not missing a beat. Okay.
All nonchalant and yellow.
I didn't have much of a problem playing Eve. The only reason why was because I was playing Slender afterwards. The first two times freaked me out.
Perfect.
The sad part, I was actually streaming it. The first 10 minutes, I'm like wondering, I'm not looking at, and then all of a sudden, I was like, what if I turn around? And all of a sudden I hear like static. I'm like, oh, I just throw my headphones out. Just quickly close
Was
it
I
out.
the only one who freaked out when YouTube changed it so that way when the video doesn't load, it has static?
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
What's happening?
no.
No.
I wasn't expecting it. Usually it's just a little puzzle piece saying, hey, flash plug-in, and it's like, shh.
Gary, open out of here.
And that's why my friend's like, you should cosplay Garry. Works for me.
YouTube knows.
Yes.
And YouTube also knows us. We like snakes.
Speaking of horror, this is not you, but Silent Hill 3. I think you remember this. Okay, so any of you play Silent Hill 3? Yeah. Okay, that's my favorite. Anyway, you're walking down into the mall, and there's a mannequin room. You're like, okay, this is a little creepy.
No. This is a bad room. Bad. Sit down.
Like coach and something, and I'm like, okay, I'll pitch that way. Oh no.
There's also that one room in Silent Hill 3 where you hear the people walking above you. It's like, is that in my room?
It's like,
I live on the top floor. Who's up there?
It's really off topic.
I really
It's all intact. It's all pretty.
Ah! And you're like, what is that? You go back, the mannequin's head is out, and it's blood.
Yeah, it's so creepy.
Well, bad. I need to
Is there any particular reason why? Because I'm like still sort of new to this. Is there any particular reason why like Gary's name has 2 R's but Mary's does not? Like.
I'm fabulous. That's
Thank
why.
you, Kouri.
I don't know.
It's because I'm fabulous.
I know.
Need a special name.
I don't know. Speaking to translate, I was talking to her. She was just like, it kind of. I think at one point, I think Kouri talked about like Romanizing it, and it was supposed to have 2 R's. So I don't. I have
It's literally
no idea.
just thank you, Kouri, for being
Yeah, thanks for
interesting.
being weird, Kouri.
Welcome to the 6000s, everybody. We got weird names.
Yep. 7, it's like,
Yeah.
I can
The painting
spell
is the only one with a normal name.
So going off topic with the whole Silent Hill thing, what about Dead Space? Does anyone have any problems playing with that?
Oh man, Dead Space.
Everyone's just like,
I used to
no.
work at GameStop.
Number
Not
2,
even talking
here's the thing. Number 2 freaked me out so hard. The part when you get into the, what's the church called again? The Unitology Church.
Unitologist.
And you're in that one open area, and you're about to go to the door, and you're trying to open it. There's all of a sudden you just have something charging at you. Freaked me out.
Or like the Church of
Let's just shut the door. No.
Shall we start talking about Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, everybody?
Yeah,
Oh, children's
after I
songs.
finished
Yeah,
playing Dead
that
Space 2,
Unreal
I
was
uninstalled
actually really
it.
creepy.
Never again.
Why?
It actually wasn't even that bad. It was her singing it normally, and it's just like, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. It's like, nope.
While ring around the posies.
Children,
Yeah.
children
Ring around the
singing.
roses.
It's
It wasn't even a
horrifying.
child. It was,
Just a normal.
Someone singing in a high-pitched voice is inherently kind of creepy.
Well, because there's a sort of like innocence to like the situation around it in a way. Like
it's
it's
like,
just,
why is there an innocent child sleeping in this, like, creepy?
yeah. Like is this only affecting me? Is it like not touching this little innocent thing just
Oh, actually, that's interesting. Silent Hill 2. I'm not going to talk about it because it's
Yeah.
This is an Eve panel,
not a
but
We're trying to fill this in as much as we can. Because it's
No,
been
but
an hour.
but there's an instance of that as Silent Hill 2, if you know what I'm talking, and that's yeah.
Oh, God.
Okay, back to Eve, everybody. This is an Eve panel. We know what we're doing.
Has there been spiritual successor to Eve yet?
No,
no.
Okay.
not yet. You haven't talked yet.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna try to turn it back around to you. The only one thing that unnerved me, you know when you're in the sketchbook part, and like at one point you're Eve and of course you're walking down, there's one in the corner where the Eve doll and it's hanging.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
I think that depends on
That depends on your
actions.
actions. That depends on your actions earlier. If you're kicking mannequin heads all willy nilly, or if you're
Oh, that one's actually when you're in that room and you have to press the buttons to find the game. If you find the one that's Eve says it's a very unnerving painting, that's what she saw, was her hanging upside down. So you see that when you get there.
oh
Yep.
see okay. I did. The more you know. This was not my first shot. That was Eve things.
Are you dancing?
Yes. Okay.
Did anyone else get the giant handprint on their screen?
Oh, that's
your
No.
That was the worst thing.
I was so scared. I was like,
Yeah.
And it comes with a giant slap noise, so it's like,
No, I love that.
I jumped back. I was like,
I
thought of one of those sticky heads. Just
How like
I remember those.
Hold on, I.
kind of keeping up with the painting theme. Gary is blue, Eve is red, and Mary is yellow. And like, if you have all those 3 colors,
You
of
can have
painting,
any color
you
in
can
the
make
world.
Any color.
Yeah.
I just thought that was kind of fascinating.
The details. Oh, the details. Yes.
This is around me somewhat. With like, so, what was it like? There, I don't know. Just talking about the horror aspect, especially from a child's eyes. So a lot of times you don't know what's going on, and well, you kind of do, but you don't. You feel like you don't know because you're in shoes, and I think that's what makes it successful. Like when you're in the sketchbook, when you're trying to save Garry, and you know you're in these weird environments. You see these weird paintings, and like you may have a different interpretation, but you're not. So she may have a different interpretation. It kind of makes you uncomfortable. a child's point of view is much scarier than an adult's, because as an adult, you know what's scary to you. And you know what's scary to you, what's scary. But as a kid, you still believe that monster is under your bed.
That is
And
true.
I don't know. I've played too many horror.
I kind of feel
it
like
makes it a lot scarier.
I feel like though Garry was kind of put in there to contrast that, to like kind of counter that point, because Garry ends up being the one running away from everything and like getting his pretty much his ass kicked by the that one painting.
Oh, it's spit on me!
Yeah, and he's the one who, in the end, ends up confronting everything, like picking out the books and.
But you're still a thief, so sometimes when I'm playing, I'm like.
The only time when they point out that she's unnerved though is when she sees her parents, and those are that's something that's familiar.
That's
to her.
as a child. That's scary.
Yeah.
Majority of the game, she sees
Oh no,
Yeah,
that's
she's
cool.
That's because they're playing in their shoes. Like, you don't really see how she's really feeling. If I was playing as Garry, you might be a little bit emotional because you're playing as him.
Well, your imagination kind of runs wild when you're older because you've seen so much more,
Yeah.
and especially if you read and watch a lot of TV, you just, your mind kind of travels to this different dimension. Like Stephen King, for instance,
Yeah.
he can't sleep without the lights on, and his bed's on the floor without a bed frame because his imagination runs wild. He's just got all this stuff in his head that when those lights go out, instantaneously he sees one of his characters or, a vampire, like
Yeah.
your
Yeah,
mind
because
kind of goes to
I
this
don't know,
different
I've been, like,
dimension.
working with kids, and
Yeah.
I see a lot of their point of view, and you have the kids like, oh, I'm gonna kill you, and you know that's wrong. I play real road.
Exactly.
And this is when the kids are in charge instead of the adults. So you see a lot more confusing, creepy atmosphere.
Exactly.
They don't know what you do.
Exactly.
That's what
I still run to my bed when I turn on the lights.
It gives you both point of views.
it gives you both point of views, but most are easy.
When I was a kid, I was afraid of
Turn off the
lightning.
light in the hallway, you're
That's
one
nice.
up the stairs.
So
Literally.
I put
Oh, let's talk how my shadow scared me that one day. My computer, when it's on standby, has this big flashing light, and I turned off the lights in my living room and the dining room, which is actually a second living room for us, and I didn't realize that the computer was on standby, so I turned off the light, walking by, blink, shadow, nope! Time to go.
That was my computer.
Like it there, I'm like, oh wait, that was my shadow.
Like at nighttime, your brain's like, hey, you know what we haven't thought of in a while? That really scary Korean comic that was going around.
That wasn't my baby.
My friend told me that at 1 in the morning. He was like, you don't need to know how to read Korean, just look at the pretty pictures.
Just scroll down.
It froze on the face, so I'm scrolling down and she's like, face, 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 face. Closed out of the browser, closed my laptop, went to the kitchen, turned on the lights. I'm just gonna eat. Eating ice cream, my fear. It's terrible. Oh my gosh. That doll room really did honestly scare me to death. I was like, what is this? Why
Wasn't
is
there also
it
horrible
coming out of
music too there that was playing? When the
Well,
doll
it's
music?
just a dong, dong. You're like, oh Jesus Christ.
That's
Not that dong.
No!
The big dong.
I don't need the table.
like a gong.
Yeah. Well, not quite a guy. It's something. But yeah, it was.
Wasn't his perfect timing?
But it was like.
Let's talk about that Slender Man from Pimpini.
Yes. Almost every time, unless I purposefully try not to.
Especially, I actually still haven't played it.
Well, now it used to be in the same place every time, but
No, it's randomized.
since the update, it's been randomized.
You actually have to look.
Search for it. Oh god, it's horrifying. You can't find it.
Are there any other like gameplay or new puzzles added from?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a whole new section of the gallery.
And you can now-
it's still optional, but
And now you can like go back and have like Garry comment on everything that you missed.
yeah.
Like backtrack and look at all the paintings.
Oh yeah, because now you have an archive of all the paintings, and you have to have Garry with you so that you know all the words. And if you can go back and see all the paintings to have everything added to your archive. It's cool.
Oh, we're actually almost done. We've like 10 minutes left. Yeah, thanks for helping us out,
I love
guys.
killing time. Yeah, what up?
Yes, yes.
Do you have any hilarious/sad headcanons? Each of you.
Oh,
Headcanons?
things that aren't necessarily actually canon, but we think that it fits well enough that we consider it ourselves.
You're sort of led to believe it. It's like
Yeah.
the missing spaces.
Yeah.
You know, like someone sees a banana and wrinkles their face, but never says anything about it. You're like, oh, that person must not like bananas. That's a headcanon.
They must not be lit.
Happy ever after.
Oh.
That's a good question.
Because there's so much to think about, and then there's also so little to think about.
I was gonna say, actually consider the fact that we're given so little canon, because we have what goes on inside the gallery, but we have almost no outside world context. So almost anything you can say about the game, about not about what happens in the gallery, it's pretty much all headcanon. I roleplay Eve on Dreamwidth, if anybody's familiar.
Never heard of that.
And apping her places is so hard because you have to almost app her as a Vandamosi because everything is so it's implied. Nothing is directly canon. Unless you go to the gallery and there's not the gallery to Kouri's Eve picture gallery, and you can learn a few things there, but it's still not a whole lot to go on.
There were a few hands raised over here. Jordan? Okay, how about you? You had your hand raised.
Oh, I was going to do a counter argument to the idea that Eve probably has a more vivid imagination. Certainly she does, but Garry, as an adult, would see the art gallery and realize this is so wrong on every level. Well, she's too young to really understand that just how wrong
Yeah,
this is.
that's the
No,
point
that's-
she was getting across. That's the
Yeah,
point she was trying to
that's
make.
what I was trying to say. It was
Yes.
kind of it's something new for her. It's not wrong. It's
She's a
just
little
new.
girl.
So that gives her another level of bravery because, like I said, Garry knows what he's up against. Like this is crazy. This is dangerous. But she's just like, oh, this is interesting and new. So yes.
I was gonna say, like, even if it's quiet and maybe be boring, children use their imaginations to, instead of knowledge, to see things in life. So even though, like you said, even though Garry might say this is wrong, she might think otherwise because she's thinking with her imagination. Maybe we don't see it, but that's how kids look.
Well, I think what's done well in the game is the fact that you are basically given this with no context, because that makes you kind of accept it more as if you were Eve. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think that varies person to person, but I think an overall thing, it just, because if you started outside the gallery and you kind of like saw like this is what is normal, and then the gallery changed, I'm not getting this across right.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'm getting some idea of what I'm saying across.
Yeah, may I translate?
Yeah,
Or at
go
least
for it if you want to.
interpret,
Go for it.
But I think the whole point is that by not seeing the outside, the context of the outside world, we don't know what's considered normal in this game.
Yeah.
So you're introduced to the gallery, and that becomes your context.
Yeah, that becomes your normal.
Exactly.
So, and to Eve, like we were saying, that, you know, it's just something new and interesting. It's not wrong or crazy, it's just...
Like, I think she does have that sense of danger, but it's just like, what, I want to know more about this. Maybe there's something else I should do.
Oh, the thing is, she does seem to be more afraid of her imagination, kind of like with the nightmare. Like, she sees a lot of these horrifying things and just does whatever, but it's her nightmare, which is what actually scares her. So that's another angle to look at it from.
Yeah, because she was mostly nonchalant about everything at first, and then she has a nightmare, you realize, okay, she is scared, there is something that's disturbing her, and then that's when...
Because she, all in all, she is still a child. She's strong and she's brave, but we see her as strong and brave. but she's, I don't know, things still get to her.
Do you think she'll ever go back to the museum? I
Um,
mean, that's something you were talking about headcanon. You never know.
That's interesting.
There's
Well, it
actually-
depends on what ending you're going with.
Yeah, true.
There's actually a fan comic going around called Maze of the Blue King that is talking about what happens when Eve goes back and Garry was left as the painting. And he kind of, in a way, takes over Guertena's world, but he's not quite sure about it. Like, it's not really finished, but I'm on like chapter 9. I'm like,
Yeah.
Link this to me, I need it.
What was that called?
I think it's Maze of the Blue King.
Alright.
Maze of the Blue King.
Maze as in corner, maze as in like maze, so that there's something. Oh, okay.
Like Labyrinth Maze.
Yeah, it's a comic about
I like
porn.
snakes, not hard.
Just give him the name Garry, give him the name Eve, it's just, I can't be sure.
Are you gonna be posting that on your Facebook by any chance? Just in case?
I could post it on Facebook.
Yeah, 'cause I'm actually enjoying that. I want to check out the updates too, especially.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The update is very easy. It's right on Kouri's website. And actually, I think rpgmaker's website too.
Yeah.
I think there's still the original, the download to the original, and then there's download to the update. So it's easy to find.
Oh.
It's, if you look up Eve, I think there's like a Facebook page that kind of makes it obvious.
Oh.
Well, there is a kind of.
Because last time I just remember it was just like some kind of art indie website, like a media flyer.
Oh yeah, well yeah.
Yeah,
It
because
just links to a meeting.
Mary and I have
It's all like
fan
us.
pages for like our cosplay work and all that. So if you guys want us to write that down, if you want any information on our panel, future stuff, just let us know. We'll write that down later. Or write it down
Friends
now
up.
if you
Write
want.
it down now. I can just write it.
Yeah, she'll write that down.
Anyways, I want to take it down. It's a giant
Well, I'll entertain while they're writing.
Yes.
Hi guys. You're all beautiful tonight.
Well, thank you.
So, any
I feel
other,
loved.
questions, ideas?
Got any bad puns?
Watch the edges.
Just outside. I was gonna smack her for this. Just outside, I was leaning on the wall, but I was on my phone, so I wasn't quite paying attention. So I fell off the edge of the wall. She turns around, just says, "Beware the edges." I just looked at her.
Yeah.
Well, you could say that's a pretty edgy sense of humor.
God damn it! Ouch!
Pun master.
Puns!
On the edge of glory.
It keeps getting worse. It keeps happening.
Oh my god.
How many edge puns can I say?
Too many edge puns.
We're on the cutting edge of edged puns. God.
See, I'm gonna come up with one at like 4 o'clock this morning.
You just gotta text it to me and I
text it to you. Exactly.
Put this on your fan page.
I literally hate the world right
This is
now.
on the edge of my tongue, but I just can't get it.
Oh god.
Do you remember something? Do you remember something, Garry? Do you remember? I thought you said just something came out the edge of your tongue. So you said I thought you remember something.
No.
No, we were going on with the jokes, Steve. Just I'm sorry, man.
It's okay. We still love you.
Still love so much all love.
I haven't been there.
All right, so I think we're almost ready to wrap
Where's
up.
Mirror's Edge
So,
2?
does
Yeah.
anybody have closing?
I had
Yeah, 5 minutes. So closing.
I actually had BGMate on Skype for like the first half hour. He says hi.
Oh, hi.
And
What up?
she's not on anymore because my phone
She
was
was
like,
in my
no.
Let's Play.
And also she thinks you're cool.
It's okay. Yes.
Streaming on
You know what it
Twitch.
is, though? It's not exactly just being a child. It's the fact that she doesn't understand so much. And if you think about it, the less you understand about something, the scarier it is in a sense, because the thing that like scares you about the dark is the fact that you don't know what's in there. You don't know what's in the dark.
That's exactly
So
what
of course
I
it's
told
going to
you.
scare
Are you
you.
afraid of
You
the dark?
don't know
No,
what's
I'm afraid
waiting
what's
for
in it.
you at the end of the
Are you
hallway.
alone in the dark?
Because the hallway's too dark for you to see.
But that's only that's an adult's mentality
That
because
is too.
that's insinuating that there is something in there, and that's an adult's way of thinking. But a child doesn't necessarily know that there is something in
Yeah,
there,
or like if let's say
or there could be something. Cause
when a child's afraid of what might be under the bed.
yeah.
it takes a child to know something is there to understand for a second there.
Yeah.
But she's so indifferent because she's still trying to
Holy crap.
understand.
Exactly, yeah.
So that's kind of what adds to it, and it helps having Garry there because he makes things more understandable
Yes.
for her. And for
Quite
me.
literally when it comes to words.
Yes, literally.
That's why you should read those books.
Oh,
Garry.
You don't want to know what those words mean.
Those books are far too edgy.
I want to
No! We're done with the edge puns. No more edge puns.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
No more word puns either. Okay, yes.
We just want to thank you guys so much for coming out tonight. It was really great.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it. This is our first panel, so we're really freaking out, especially because of everything that happened. So thank you
Double
so
thumbs up for
much.
everybody here. Y'all rock.
Yes.
Thank you for
So
interesting,
Thank you so much.
interesting conversation.
Yes.
Yeah, we really enjoyed
Food
it.
for thought. Hopefully we reignited some love for Eve. And yeah,
Yes.
everybody have a good night.
Yes. Thank you. Spread the love.
Sound